Hello, card players. This is Predator King 93 here with a Vanguard trial deck review, and this is the first card review I've done since the channels went up. So hopefully, in the next couple of weeks, this is how the footage should be like. I shall be getting Ed Phoenix hopefully to review the other deck that came along with this side. Yeah. Right. So let's get on to it. The trial deck is the Shadow Paladin Return. If none of you know, the Shadow Paladins are the opposite to Aichi Sendo's deck, which is the Royal Paladin, which during Season 2 then changes to Gold Paladin. Then in Season 3 it changes to Gold Paladin Liberators, which is a mixture of the Gold Paladin deck that you used during the second series and his Royal Paladins. And I will show you a demonstration of that right now, actually, if I find both of the cards. Right, so basically, a Liberator Gold Paladin is just like a normal Royal. There's a few cards from the Royal Paladin series that made it into the deck, and there's a few that didn't. But one of the ones that did make it into the deck is actually my starting Vanguard for my build. Was Wingle. Wingle actually got into the Liberators. I look like a fool. I've just got these cards out just to do this. And it's disappeared. Anyways, the Shadow Paladins disappeared along with the Royal Paladins in the second series. And, of course, Aichi's ultimate nemesis is Kai, but his second nemesis is Ren. The dude with the fro. Yes, he was the leader of Team Foo Fighter in Japanese, or in the English version, Team Asteroid. Yes, if you want to know where I got these cards from, I got them from Games for Gamers in Newcastle upon Tyne. Alright, anyways, moving on. The Shadow Paladins ended up basically coming back in the new series, which they've changed their names to Focus, there we go, Revengers. Yeah, so these are called the Shadow Paladin Dark of Revengers. Some people tend to get them mixed up with Avengers, but no. Anyways, the deck's a pretty solid deck. In my opinion, it's really good. Anyways, he has the Dark Blaster Blade, Dark Blaster Revenger. Let's see if it'll focus on. No, it's not going to focus because the card is really... there we go. The card is a really dark card. But the Liberators are basically the opposite to the Revengers. Makes sense. Anyways, this is just basically a trial deck. It's unedited. And I will go through each and every card, hopefully in a matter of seconds. So let's start off... God. I am so unprofessional. Let's start off with the Blaster Blade Dark. Basically, it has the ability, it has an 9,000 attack, 5,000 shield, it is a level 2 interceptor, most of you know this already, but it has a special counterblast. Well, I say special counterblast, it just has a normal counterblast. Anyways, the counterblast is pay 2. When this unit is placed on the Vanguard or Rear Guard, if you have a Vanguard with the name Revenger in its name, you may pay the cost. If you do, choose one of your opponent's rear guards in the front row and retire it. It's a pretty nifty card. Then you've got Darkness Revenger Rugos. If anybody's watched the anime, you should remember Rugos from the Shadow Paladin original deck. He has been beefed up. Now he has a 10,000 attack, no ability, and a 5,000 shield, and he's a level 2 interceptor. Now, we have Transcend Revenger Masquerade. He's a grade 1 that boosts with 5,000 shield, 7,000 attack, and its ability is when it's placed in the rear guard circle. When this unit attacks, if you have a Revenger Vanguard in its name, basically when it says that, it means it has to have Revenger in its name for this ability to work. This card gains an additional 3,000 power. So it's alone. If I said how Blaster Dark here as my Vanguard and something else, this card would be a 10,000 attacker by itself. Then we have the grade 3. No, this is not the Break Ride. Labyrinthian Revenger Arwen. It's a Vanguard / rear guard ability where it counterblast 1. And you only counterblast it from when you attack, and it gains an additional 3,000 power in doing so. It's already a 10,000 attacker, no shield because it's grade 3, twin drive, etc. Now in the new decks, you actually get Break Ride units. Oh, sorry about this. I've got a bit of hiccups. I'm moving the table by accident as well. Anyways, this card here is the Break Ride unit for the Shadow Paladin trial deck. It is Illusionary Revenger Morphed Phantom. Right, it's a grade 3 with twin drive, a limit break, an auto Vanguard ability, and a continuous Lord. It just means that it's going to be your Lord for the rest of the game. I don't know why they put that in. Anywho, the ability is when this unit attacks a Vanguard, it gains a 2,000 power boost this year. So it's going from 11,000 to a 13,000 attacker. Then its limit break is actually quite special. Counterblast 1. A Shadow Paladin unit, if you ride a Shadow Paladin unit on top of this, you may pay the cost. If you do, choose your Vanguard until the end of the turn. That unit gains an additional 10,000 power, and you can search for a grade 2 or less Shadow Paladin and call it to the rear guard circle, shuffle your deck, and that unit gains an additional 5,000. So in a perfect strategy, if you do not have Blaster Dark on or in the soul, you would call Blaster Dark for this ability. And whatever unit rides on top of this would become X amount of power. Right, and then you get it's Black Sage Karen. It's also the opposite of the Royal Paladins, Little Sage Marin. See? Little Sage Marin, Black Sage Karen. It's the same guy. And I'm not going to show all the cards because they are like 4 of the same cards or 3 of the same cards. Anyways, here's one of the triggers for the deck. Grade 0, 10,000 shield, 5,000 attack, and it's a standing unit. And it is Awakening Revenger. It is a crow. That's all. That's all I can say on about that. Alright. Here is another grade 1 unit called Sacrilegious Revenger Balbathin. This is why I normally have Ed Phoenix, because I can't pronounce it. Anyways, it has a Vanguard and rear guard ability where you counterblast 1 and it gets 1,000 power until the end of the turn. So it's a pretty standard card. Then you've got... Now, I've heard a lot of people pronounce this card in different ways. I pronounce this Coilbow Revenger, because it's K-O-I... Coilbow, sorry. Coilbow Revenger. When this unit, it's got a Vanguard and rear guard ability. It's also a 5,000 shield, interceptor, grade 2. When this unit attacks, if the number of rear guards you have is less than your opponent, this card gains an additional 3,000 until the end of the battle. It's an 8,000 attacker already. So if you're outnumbered basically you have less cards on the field than your opponent, it becomes an 11k attacker at grade 2. Now, moving on. Here's another grade 3 unit that has a limit break. It is Venomous Breath Dragon. Its limit break is just again when you have 4 damage, it gains 5,000 power until the end of the turn. And its rearguarded ability is just like most cards, where it gains 2,000 instead of the 5,000 for when it battles. Pretty generic card, but it looks amazing. Shame it don't. I really think this card could have a bit of potential. Here's another trigger. It is the critical trigger. It's like all the others before, it's the same stats: 10,000, 5,000 attack, boosting unit, and it's critical. And it is the Grim Revenger. Feels like there's a fairy tale joke here somewhere. If there is, leave in a comment below. Alright, here's another trigger, and it's the heal trigger. Same as before, 10,000 shield, 5,000 attack, and it's a heal trigger. This one is Healing Revenger. Healing Revenger. You couldn't have come up with something a little bit better than that, Bushy Road? Nah, I'll take it. Right. Here's another trigger. It's the draw trigger. Now the draw triggers are for some reason less shield than the other triggers. I'm not sure why, but it's made sense over the years. Well, the 2 years that I've played Vanguard. Anyways, it's the same as before, except that it's a 5,000 shield and it's a draw trigger. Oh, and I forgot to mention, every trigger gains 5,000 attack. Gives a Vanguard or Rearguard 5,000 extra power when you trigger it. Like I say, me and Ed Phoenix are going to go through the whole thing, rules of Vanguard, one day, because this camera allows me to record as long as I need. We're on 12 minutes already. Alright, this one is Balban, or Banbar Revenger. This basically just gains it's sort of like the other one, except it gains 4,000 attack when it boosts a Shadow Paladin Revenger, or a Shadow Paladin Vanguard, as long as you have less cards than your opponent, and this becomes a 10k booster. So if your Vanguard's at 10,000 already, this will boost it up to 20,000. Same card. Yeah, because I've kept the trial decks the same for now, just to show you guys. Then I'll be editing it later, like I've done with my Link Joker deck, which is the next deck I'm going to get reviewed. But yeah, me and my mate Ed Phoenix, we're just basically trying to get this sorted. And since now this camera is a new camera and that, I can get more footage with him in, and hopefully have it still unedited, but not too badly. Right, the next card we have is Nullity Revenger Masquerade. He's a grade 2 interceptor. He's 5,000 shield, and his abilities for when he's rearguard. When this unit attacks, if you have a Revenger Vanguard, you gain an additional 3,000 until the end of battle. So this card will go from 9,000 to 11, 10, 11, 12. Goes to 12k. Just for having a Revenger, that's not bad. Next you have your strong shield cards, which are basically, these go from a 5,000 shield to a 10,000 when they intercept. All because the starter decks don't get their perfect guards. Anyways, I've just explained what this ability is. Turns into a 10k shield. It's a grade 2 interceptor, 8,000 attack. And this is Revenger Fortress Faulty. Oh, Feltia? I'm not too sure. I have problems pronouncing them. I'm just looking through the rest of the cards. And I believe that is it. other than I haven't seen the starting Vanguard that you're supposed to use in this deck. Oh well, my deck might be incomplete. If so, I need to consult a friend of mine about... Oh, wait. I left him in a pocket. I am silly. Right. This is the starting unit you will use because it's the trial deck. It is Crisis Revenger Fritz. And his text says, a sword which does not fit your height, that is an aspired sign. Aspired sign. I don't know why it means that. Anywho, he says grade 0, 5,000 shield. Oh wait, no, he's a 10,000 shield. Sorry about that. And he's 6,000. This is your starting Vanguard. And that's pretty much it for this review. All I'm going to say is it's a pretty good trial deck. I liked it. I bought it at Games for Gamers in Newcastle upon Tyne. I will hopefully get their website sorted once I find their website, because they need to get it sorted. But this is that's the place I go for my cards, and that's the place where Phoenix goes for his cards. Anyways, this is me signing out. Remember to be a good... I have no outro for this. If anyone could come up with an outro for this, let me know in the comments below. Alright, I'll catch you guys in a bit.